You've likely heard the common belief that masturbation is safe and beneficial at any age, but for men over 70, this oversimplification can hide critical risks. I'm Dr. James Carter, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience guiding older adults toward vibrant, fulfilling lives. Having worked with thousands of senior men nationwide, I've seen firsthand how habits around self-pleasure, when not adapted to aging, can silently impact physical health, emotional well-being, and even quality of life. In this comprehensive guide, I'll walk you through 5 common masturbation mistakes that older men often make mistakes that could be quietly draining your energy, affecting your prostate, or dimming your emotional spark. More importantly, I'll provide actionable, science-backed strategies to ensure this part of your life remains safe, enjoyable, and empowering. Stay until the end for a practical, medication-free self-care routine you can start tonight to boost your health, enhance pleasure, and reclaim peace of mind. If this resonates, type 1 in the comments to let me know it helped, or 0 if you have ideas for improvement. Let's dive in and explore how to make self-pleasure a positive, health-supporting practice in your golden years. Mistake 1. Disregarding your body's changing physical limits. As men enter their 72nd and beyond, the body undergoes profound changes that require a new approach to self-care. The cardiovascular system becomes less resilient, blood vessels lose elasticity, and the nervous system responds more slowly. Pelvic floor muscles, which support bladder control and sexual function, also weaken with age. Yet, many older men continue masturbating with the same intensity, speed, or grip they used decades ago, unaware that this can place undue stress on their bodies. For example, overly vigorous or rushed self-pleasure can lead to immediate symptoms like dizziness, elevated heart rate, or muscle cramps, particularly in men with conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, or diabetes. Over time, this repeated strain may contribute to cardiovascular fatigue or, in rare cases, more serious complications. Consider the pelvic floor muscles, which contract during climax. In younger years, these muscles handle intense activity effortlessly, but after 70, overuse can lead to tightness, fatigue, or even chronic discomfort. For instance, a 5-year-old patient of mine experienced recurring groin pain after maintaining the aggressive habits of his youth, only to discover his pelvic floor was strained, contributing to urinary urgency. Ignoring these signals can also lead to incontinence or difficulty with bladder control, issues that affect nearly 30% of men over 70, according to urological studies. To avoid this mistake, shift to a gentler, more mindful approach. Create a relaxing environment, perhaps with dim lighting, soft music, or a comfortable chair to reduce physical and mental tension. Use slow, deliberate touch, focusing on sensation rather than speed. Incorporate deep, rhythmic breathing to stabilize your heart rate and relax your muscles. For example, try inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 6 to maintain calm during the process. Taking breaks if you feel fatigued and using proper posture, such as lying down or sitting with back support, can further reduce strain. If you experience discomfort, pause and reassess. Your body is signaling its limits. Aging isn't about pushing through, it's about adapting with wisdom to maintain pleasure while safeguarding your health. This approach can lead to richer, more satisfying experiences that honor your body's current capabilities. Mistake 2. Overloading the brain with intense digital stimulation. In today's hyper-connected world, pornography is more accessible, fast-paced, and graphically intense than ever before. While younger brains may recover quickly from this sensory overload, for men over 70, frequent exposure to high-intensity content can subtly rewire how the brain processes pleasure, intimacy, and arousal. The brain releases dopamine, the reward chemical, during sexual stimulation, but repeated exposure to extreme pornography can lead to dopamine desensitization. This means the brain begins to require more intense stimuli to achieve the same level of satisfaction, creating a cycle of diminishing returns. For older men, whose natural hormone levels like testosterone and dopamine regulation are already declining, this can have far-reaching effects. Real-life experiences like a warm conversation, a partner's touch, or even personal moments of joy may start to feel less rewarding. A 72-year-old patient shared how his reliance on graphic online content left him feeling emotionally flat, struggling to find joy in simple interactions with friends or family. Research suggests that excessive pornography use in older adults can also disrupt sleep, increase anxiety, or contribute to mild cognitive fog, particularly when used to cope with loneliness or boredom. For example, late-night screen exposure can suppress melatonin production, worsening sleep quality, which is already a challenge for 40% of seniors, according to sleep studies. To protect your mental and emotional health, consider reducing reliance on high-intensity pornography. Explore gentler alternatives, such as erotic literature, audio stories, or even guided imagery that relies on your own memories and imagination. For instance, recalling a meaningful romantic moment or focusing on sensory details like the texture of your skin or the warmth of your touch can spark arousal without overwhelming your brain. Set boundaries, such as avoiding screens an hour before bed to support restful sleep. You might also try journaling about your desires or emotions to reconnect with what truly brings you joy. By choosing content that reflects your stage of life, you can foster deeper self-awareness and preserve emotional resilience, making pleasure more authentic and sustainable. The goal isn't to eliminate stimulation, but to balance it in a way that enhances your overall well-being. Mistake 3. Overlooking prostate health risks. The prostate, a small but vital gland, plays a central role in both reproductive and urinary health. After age 70, most men experience benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, a natural enlargement of the prostate that affects over 50% of men in this age group. According to the American Urological Association, BPH can press on the bladder, causing symptoms like frequent urination, difficulty starting a stream, or waking multiple times at night to use the bathroom. Unfortunately, many older men continue masturbation habits that don't account for these changes, such as using excessive pressure, delaying ejaculation repeatedly, or rushing through the process. These habits can irritate the prostate, leading to inflammation, pelvic pain, or even chronic discomfort. In rare cases, they may mask early signs of serious conditions like prostatitis or prostate cancer, delaying critical diagnosis. For example, a 74-year-old patient of mine experienced persistent pelvic discomfort after years of delaying ejaculation to maintain stamina, only to learn his prostate was inflamed due to unnecessary strain. Aggressive habits can also overwork the pelvic floor muscles and surrounding nerves, increasing recovery time and discomfort. Conversely, mindful masturbation can support prostate health by promoting blood flow and clearing stagnant fluid, which may reduce the risk of inflammation. To do this safely, prioritize gentle stimulation, allowing ample time for arousal and a complete, unforced release. Avoid forcing or holding back ejaculation, as this creates tension in the pelvic region. Pay close attention to warning signs, such as pelvic pain lasting more than a day, blood or unusual color in semen, or changes in urinary patterns, for example, dribbling or weak flow. These could indicate issues requiring medical attention. Regular prostate screenings, combined with mindful habits, are essential. For example, incorporate pelvic floor exercises like Kegels, contracting and releasing the muscles used to stop urination, to strengthen the area and support both sexual and urinary function. By treating your prostate with care, you can maintain its health while keeping self-pleasure a positive part of your life. Mistake 4. Using masturbation to escape emotional struggles. In later life, emotional well-being becomes as critical as physical health, especially for men facing solitude, the loss of a partner, or the quiet of retirement. For some, masturbation becomes a way to fill emotional voids, cope with stress, or escape feelings of loneliness or grief. While self-pleasure is a natural and healthy part of life, using it as a primary means to manage emotional pain can lead to unintended consequences. When driven by sadness, boredom, or anxiety, the act often loses its joy, becoming a mechanical routine rather than a source of fulfillment. Over time, this can deepen feelings of isolation, leaving men feeling more disconnected afterward. A 71-year-old patient, recently widowed, described how he turned to masturbation to cope with lonely evenings, only to feel emptier and less motivated to engage socially. Studies in geriatric psychology suggest that relying on physical release to mask emotional needs can contribute to emotional numbness, reducing the desire to seek meaningful connections. The problem lies not in masturbation itself, but in its motivation. Ask yourself, are you engaging in this act to celebrate your body or to avoid confronting difficult emotions? This simple question can spark greater self-awareness. To break this cycle, address emotional needs directly. Start with small, intentional actions. Call a friend or family member. Join a local community group, for example, a book club or senior center activity, or rediscover a hobby like gardening, woodworking, or playing an instrument. Even a 20-minute walk in nature can lift your mood and reduce reliance on physical release as an emotional crutch. Journaling about your feelings or practicing mindfulness meditation can also help you process emotions constructively. For example, try a 5-minute meditation where you focus on your breath and name one thing you're grateful for each day. Masturbation should enhance your life, not replace the human connection your heart craves. By nurturing emotional health, you can ensure self-pleasure remains a joyful, affirming experience. Mistake 5. Letting performance anxiety overshadow pleasure. As men age, changes in sexual function such as slower, less firm, or shorter-lasting erections are a normal part of biology. Yet, many men over 70 view these shifts as signs of failure, turning masturbation into a high-pressure test of performance rather than a moment of enjoyment. This mindset triggers performance anxiety, which releases cortisol, the stress hormone that disrupts arousal and relaxation. Over time, this creates a vicious cycle. Worry reduces satisfaction, which deepens self-doubt, further hindering sexual response. A 73-year-old patient shared how his obsession with proving his virility during masturbation left him stressed and unfulfilled, even in private moments. This anxiety doesn't just affect sexual pleasure. It impacts the entire nervous system, leading to physical tension, irritability, or even sleep disturbances. Research indicates that chronic stress can exacerbate age-related declines in testosterone, further complicating sexual function. Ignoring these changes or refusing to seek help out of embarrassment can trap men in a cycle of frustration and shame, undermining confidence both in and out of the bedroom. To overcome this, reframe masturbation as an act of self-care, not a measure of masculinity. Focus on how your body feels rather than how it should perform. Experiment with new approaches to enhance comfort, such as using a water-based lubricant to increase sensitivity or trying different times of day, for example, morning, when energy levels are higher. Incorporate relaxation techniques like progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense and release each muscle group to reduce tension before starting. If erectile difficulties persist or you notice significant changes, such as pain or unusual fluid, consult a healthcare provider. Options like pelvic floor therapy, Dietary improvements, for example, foods rich in zinc and omega-3 second, or medical treatments can make a difference. Seeking help is a powerful step. It shows you value your health and happiness. By letting go of performance pressure, you can rediscover pleasure as a source of joy and self-connection. Practical self-care routine, the mindful touch ritual. To help you apply these lessons, here's a detailed self-care routine you can start tonight to make masturbation a health-supporting practice. The mindful touch ritual is designed to enhance pleasure, reduce physical strain, and promote emotional balance, all without medication. Set the scene 2 minutes. Choose a quiet, private space where you feel relaxed. Dim the lights, play soft music, or light a candle to create a calming atmosphere. Ensure you're seated or lying down comfortably to avoid muscle strain. Breathe deeply, 2 minutes. Begin with 5 deep breaths. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. This calms your nervous system and prepares your body for relaxation. Engage mindfully, 5-10 minutes. Use slow, gentle touch, focusing on sensation rather than rushing to climax. Experiment with different pressures or rhythms, pausing if you feel fatigued. If your mind wanders to worries, gently refocus on the present moment. Reflect and release, 2 minutes. After finishing, take a moment to notice how your body and mind feel. Are you calmer, more connected? Journal these observations, or simply sit in gratitude for your body's ability to experience pleasure. Follow-up care. Stay hydrated, avoid screens for at least 30 minutes to support sleep, and consider a quick stretch to relax your pelvic muscles. Practice this ritual 2-3 times a week to build a healthier relationship with self-pleasure. Over time, you'll notice improved physical comfort, emotional clarity, and a renewed sense of vitality. Frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions. To address common concerns, here are answers to questions I often hear from patients. Is masturbation still beneficial after 70? Yes. When done mindfully, it can support prostate health, reduce stress, and enhance emotional well-being. The key is adapting to your body's current needs. How often is too often? There's no universal rule, but if masturbation leaves you fatigued, emotionally numb, or interferes with daily life, it's a sign to reassess your habits. Listen to your body's cues. What if I feel embarrassed talking to my doctor? It's normal to feel hesitant, but urologists and primary care providers are trained to discuss these topics with sensitivity. Write down your concerns beforehand to feel more prepared. Can lifestyle changes help? Absolutely. A balanced diet, regular exercise, for example, walking or yoga, and stress management, for example, meditation, can improve sexual and overall health. Final thoughts. Aging doesn't diminish intimacy, it refines it with wisdom and purpose. The 5 mistakes we've explored: ignoring physical limits, overusing intense pornography, neglecting prostate health, masking emotional pain, and succumbing to performance anxiety can quietly undermine your health if left unaddressed. But with mindfulness and care, you can transform masturbation into a practice that supports your body, mind, and spirit. Embrace gentle techniques, prioritize emotional connection, and listen to your body's signals. You're not broken, you're evolving, and this evolution offers a chance to experience pleasure with greater depth and intention than ever before. Your body may be aging, but your capacity for joy, connection, and self-respect remains vibrant. If this guide resonated, please like, subscribe, and share it with other men who might benefit. Let's break the silence around these topics. Your health matters, your pleasure matters, and you deserve to embrace both fully at any age. Type 1 in the comments if this helped, or share your thoughts to keep this conversation alive.